point, suspend the rule of law. She said the John Warner Defense Authorization Act of 2007 gave the President new powers over the National Guard. Suspend class comitatus to invoke a state of emergency. And the funny thing is that these pieces of legislation and the accompanying executive orders do not define in specific terms what constitutes an emergency. This economic crisis, threatens our economy, which in turn threatens our national security. That could be justification enough for him to invoke Homeland Security Presidential Directive 51 and these other emergency provisions and declare martial law. Now, I wish that I would have been able to get the video portion and the audio working properly, because there's a YouTube clip where Congressman Brad Sherman on the House of the Florida Representatives talks about his concern about the leadership threatening various members of Congress that if they didn't pass this banker bailout boondoggle, my words, that if this bill didn't get passed, that martial law would be invoked on the streets of America. We're running out of time, people. They're getting ready to take the Constitution and throw it down the old memory hole. You remember Orwell's black memory hole? Disappears, never to be seen again. Liberty, once it's lost, is incredibly difficult to get back. Just ask the people of the Soviet Union. It took them 70 years. And even then, they're not really free. Not like we were free. When it goes, it's very, very difficult to get back. And if you do get it back, it's not quite like it originally was. There's a tremendous danger there. But, the question is, do you want to be a slave? Because that's what they're proposing. They would have you believe that everything that you produce is theirs to take. That your life is theirs to own. Among libertarians, there's a thing called the philosophy of liberty. If you Google that, there's a flash file. It's an 8-minute movie that explains, in basic but easy to understand terms, the Lockean principle of self-determination. You own your body. Your past is yours and your future is yours. Your property is the result of your present labor. With your past effort, that allows you, to have a car, a home. Those are the fruits of your labor. The future is represented by your life itself. If you're deprived of life, then you have no future. And so anyhow, these three components, that makes that up, and they're in essence saying you don't even own yourselves. And that's slavery, and it's unconstitutional and it's illegal. But and I don't much care for quoting communists, but that no good son of a gun, Mao Zedong, was right. All political power flows from the barrel of a gun. They've got the guns, and they intend to use them on you if you don't go along with their program. Try not paying your taxes and see how far you get. Go to protests and try to stand up, when they unconstitutionally try to deprive you of the exercise of those rights. And assuming that they don't taser you to death or pepper gas you. And incidentally, that's all they used. Well, in fact, it wasn't even pepper gas. What they used on the Branch Davidians was CS gas. I didn't mention it before, but I'll say it now since I'm talking about it. CS gas is banned for use in warfare by the Geneva Convention. And yet, they used a quantity of CS gas 200 times beyond the lethal limit. That was murder. It's very deliberate. But there have been no prosecutions as of yet. So, Naomi Wolf has a number of other examples. And if anyone wants to email me, I can give you my email address, and I'll be happy to send you the link to the entire article, or you can Google Fascist America in 10 Easy Steps. there are solutions, and some of them are actually quite easy. We can, speak up with a unified voice. We can be organized. People working together have tremendous power. A good example would be the Philippines. People got together and they used, the mere force of their massed efforts to install a new government. We have an election system that I've cynically referred to in the past as the best electoral system that money can rig. I have a big problem with touchscreen voting. There are already reports on the internet in early polling sessions, certified polling, where these electronic vote machines are flipping votes. There was one instance where some individual, and I forgot her name, kept trying to press Barack Obama. Did it about 3 or 4 times, couldn't get anywhere with it. Kept wanting to pick Cynthia McKinney from the Green Party. Finally got the assistance of the poll worker. Poll worker tapped Obama 3 times, and then it selected Mr. McCain. So somebody trying to vote Democrat got flipped to a Republican vote. And I'm sure there's probably the same thing going on in other areas. Republican votes getting flipped to Democrat. Or sometimes maybe you don't even see it get flipped. You think you voted one way, but it voted another. There is no transparency with these electronic voting systems. And the funny thing is that this is not a new phenomenon. More than 25 years ago, a couple of fellows from Florida, and we all remember the Florida debacle, but election rigging in Florida is a fine art form. 25 years ago, they started investigating, election fraud, not voter fraud. Voter fraud is where an individual tries to cast a vote illegally. Election fraud. Election fraud is where the entire election is thrown by the people who count the votes. And why this is significant is because, we see this in unfree countries. Joe Stalin, back at the height of the Cold War, or maybe not the height, but, when it was ramping up, he said, I don't care, about the elections. It's not who votes that counts. It's who counts the votes. It's not who votes that counts. It's who counts the votes. Who's counting the votes in America? It's all being done behind closed doors. There has been up until now with touchscreen voting. Now you don't even have to worry about somebody, divulging the fact, at the state board of elections that there's been, rigging of an entire election. You don't have to worry about somebody changing their mind that they don't want to be part of breaking the law. Suddenly coming clean and exposing, the rigging of an election. Now it can all be done with proprietary software that is used in these voting machine systems. And last time I checked, only 3 companies make machines and software that are integrated for all the voting in this country. Only 3 companies. And these companies are very, very close to the existing power structure. In 2000 and 2004, the company to watch was Election Systems and Software, ES&S, a division of Diebold. And the owner of Diebold was a very, very close personal friend of Mr. Bush. Is it no wonder that Florida and Ohio, Ohio being the home state of ES&S, is it no wonder that those states carried Mr. Bush? And even now, they're finding continued exposures of the fraud that was going